Hi guys, Rob O'Neill here, Aylesbury Modern Combat Karate. Welcome to Workout Wednesdays. Today we're going to be looking at the dumbbell floor press. So why is this technique important for us as martial artists, us as karateka? Well, this is going to be a really good technique, particularly if you train at home, to develop the strength throughout the entire chest. And all the pressing muscles in the shoulder and the arms. So this is going to give us a stronger punch, which first and foremost, which is something we really want to develop, particularly if you're like a full contact athlete in kickboxing or MMA or something with a karate background. You know, that punching strength is going to be really useful for you. Secondarily, for those with a more kind of self-protection aim, this is really good. You need you need a strong punch, but also pushing people away from you, keeping distance, keeping space. The ability to push hard and press hard in the horizontal plating is really useful. So although this doesn't carry over exactly because we're performing the technique lying down on the floor, we're pushing in the same plane of motion as I would push if, for example, I was attacked and I'm pushing someone away from me. And I still need those strong chest, shoulder and tricep muscles to do that and to follow up with striking. So without further ado, let's look at the correct performance of the dumbbell floor press. So what you've seen in that video was that I had a nice neutral spine position. I wasn't arching my back off the ground, and there wouldn't have been a huge gap between my back and the floor there. I'm controlling the dumbbells down, and I'm pausing slightly when I get to the floor. I'm not bouncing my triceps off the floor. That's going to reduce the amount of effort we need to put in through the whole range of motion, but particularly that bottom position where we're overcoming the inertia of the stationary weight. So nice controlled eccentric portion, slight pause at the bottom, and we're pressing back up. My personal preference for hand position here is to have my hands at a slight angle, but out to the side or vertical is absolutely fine. I just find with a horizontal position I come elbows too high, so my preference is 45 degrees. What we don't want is those elbows coming too high, coming above our shoulders. That's going to put strain on the shoulder that we don't want. So we're keeping a nice neutral or slightly 45-degree grip. Elbows nice and tucked into the body. Okay. Slight pause at the bottom, controlled eccentric, bringing the dumbbells in together as we come up to the top. So having looked at the correct performance, let's look at some common errors. So the first common error is going to be bouncing the exercise, so the technique off the floor. This takes away the inertia that we have to overcome at the bottom of the lift. It's going to reduce the amount of the range of motion, which is already limited, that we're going to be actually applying force through, and so it's going to make this a much less effective technique. So this is the same as if you bounce any kind of bench press off your chest. You're not having to overcome any weight for those first few inches. That's going to reduce the benefit that you get from the technique. So the second mistake that we're going to look at is going to be bringing the elbows too high. So this is difficult to see from a side view, but it's going to look from the top like we're up here. You see quite often bodybuilders will come wide with their elbows nice and high, their arms nice and wide when they're doing bench press. Theoretically, this can put slightly more emphasis on the chest, but for most people the risk of injury to the shoulder is far greater than the extra benefit that you're going to get from this kind of position. So what we really want is our elbows tucked in, nice and tight to the body, so when I'm at the bottom I've got about a 45-degree angle between my shoulder and my arm there, or my arm and my body. So the final mistake that we're going to see is losing the line. So this is much easier to see from the side than the previous mistake. And what's going to happen is I'm pressing either too far down towards my stomach or too high over my head. What this is going to do is it's going to create a moment arm. So rather than my arm being nice and vertical, 90 degrees to the floor, I'm going to end up either low or high. What this is going to do is it's going to start pulling my arm in one direction. So if I'm low, it's going to pull it down towards my legs. If I'm high, it's going to pull it towards my head. This is going to shift the emphasis on the exercise to the wrong area of the body. We want to really focus on hitting those muscles that we're trying to hit, and by missing that line by such a significant degree, we're going to really struggle to do that. So how can we implement this exercise in our training? Well, if you train at home, this is a really good one to add in because all you need is dumbbells. For people training at home, this can be a main movement, but as with most dumbbell exercises, we're going to want to look at slightly higher reps, somewhere above kind of 8. So an 8 to 12 rep range for strength with dumbbells is good. If you've got light dumbbells and you're wanting to go for endurance, anywhere in that 15 plus rep range is going to be fantastic. If you train in a gym or you have a much more expansive setup at home, this is a great tricep accessory exercise for the bench press, as well as for the overhead press. So if you train in a full gym, I'd recommend the bench press as the main movement, and then you can add these in afterwards, again in that kind of 8 to 15 range, depending on your goals, for some extra accessory work there. So that was just a quick video on the dumbbell floor press, how to perform it correctly and a couple of common mistakes. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe for more content, and we'll see you in the next video.